Brought to you by visitlauderdale.com.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome bay with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a special remote edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Today, coming to you live, a special Dine Out Lauderdale edition celebrating the commencement of Dine Out Lauderdale at a great spot. Funky, cozy, beautiful, independent mom and pop shop. There you go. I've had a little bit of wine. We're here with Roberto and his lovely wife and chef, and they are the proprietors, owners of Union Kitchen and Bar in Wilton Manors. And welcome to the Lunchbox. Thank you so much for having us out, Roberto.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah. So, first of all, it's at 2309 North Dixie Highway in Wilton Manors. I know a lot of people who come to Wilton Manors, they just go up and down Wilton Drive, the drive as it's known, and they might not even realize that this place is here. Tell us a little bit about Union Kitchen and Bar and the history and all of that.
Yeah, the history. Well, we about to celebrate our second year anniversary.
2 years.
2 years, yeah. And we opened 2 years ago. It's my wife and I. My wife, Christy, is a chef. And we met about 10 years ago at the Boca Raton Resort and Club.
Boca Resort and Club, which is really kind of high-end, good quality. I mean, great quality.
Great quality.
Yeah.
Very high-end. We were we were managing a restaurant on the 27th floor of the tower, on top of the Pink Tower. Oh, used to be Pink.
That's
Tower.
right. That was a landmark building. And,
exactly.
Yeah. But tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, you guys have a global background perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You're both born in different continents, right?
Different continents. I'm Italian, born in Italy, and worked in England, and then came over here. And my wife is Peruvian American, born in Peru, and grew up in New Jersey and Orlando, and then worked in fine dining all her life as well. We met at the Boca Resort, and then the rest is history.
Nice. And we're going to meet Christy in the next segment when she's going to bring out some of her great cuisine. And it's a little bit of, I guess, how would you describe the menu here?
The menu is, as you said, is upscale, casual, and with a little bit of everything from our background. So we do fresh pasta. We do a flair of South American and some Peruvian, but for the most part is the food that we love the most, and it makes us comfortable.
I love places like this where you walk in immediately and you just, you're surrounded by like beautiful decor, great, artwork, cozy banquets, and they have a great patio outside. In wintertime, it gets filled up. There's great bar area with full liquor. Jeff Defo DeForest, how would you say Union Kitchen and Bar compares to, let's say Myron's Delicatessen at the?
Well, I mean, that's not a fair comparison there, but no, I like the vibe, and I have a curiosity. You're more familiar with this than I am, but it seems like Wilton Manors restaurants really have a good reputation, and as an area of distinction in terms of finding a lot of different things. So I'm always curious about these kind of places. And I just pulling up here, you could tell that this would be the kind of place that you would want to go to. I had you pegged, though, for the octopus for some reason. I have you just diving into, I don't know if that's going to be part of the fanfare today, but for some reason, I was thinking last night, Mayo, octopus, it's almost a natural pairing, no?
Well, is there any octopus on the menu? Yes, there is. Of course, it's
Absolutely.
Peruvian. It has to have octopus.
Come on,
and yes.
Come on, Mayo, get with it.
Is that one of the big sellers? Octopus?
It is one of the big sellers. I mean, we usually we always keep it on the menu, although we change the menu every 3 months.
Nice,
it's very
seasonal. Yeah.
But we change always the octopus to be more of a seasonal garnish, and so we change the things around. There are certain things that we keep all the time, and certain things that main ingredients that we keep, but we always change the garnish around. One of those is the octopus. The other one is the pork chop.
People are always looking for that, though, in Let's Eat South Florida. They're always like, hey, where can you get octopus?
Octopus
and that's why I thought you were probably going to try it and give it the big thumbs up here.
It's one of those items that I guess 15, 20 years ago you didn't see a lot of it, except maybe if you went to a Greek restaurant, and people would be maybe a little bit squeamish about it. And then all of a sudden there was an octopus explosion where it seemed to be on every menu.
Literally.
And some
probably because of the Bond movie Octopussy, right? I mean, what do you think?
Well, there was another movie, The Octopus Teacher, that put a lot of people off of octopus because the whole thing about they are very intelligent creatures, and it was a story about a bond of a man with a octopus. And but me,
people are very
I'll eat
particular
anything.
about it. They really are. I mean, and done right, I guess makes a big difference. I'm not an octopus guy, but I saw that on the menu as one of the features, and I thought right away, Mayo. I know he's putting in with Roberto. He's probably already put the order in.
No, Christy was gonna, I guess, show off and showcase some of the items that are on the Dine Out Lauderdale menu. And again, Dine Out Lauderdale, our friends at Visit Lauderdale, they started, it started yesterday. Yesterday was August 1st, and it goes through the 31st. And places like Union Kitchen and Bar have assembled, some of their greatest hits, and you can pick an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. You get those three for $45, which is, a great value for considering that you would spend much more money if you ordered them all a la carte.
Absolutely.
And just tell us a little about your association with Visit Lauderdale, the Dine Out Lauderdale, and you're expecting. Is it offered every day, or is it not on Friday, Saturday?
It's exactly. It's offered Tuesday to Thursday and Sunday.
Okay.
We skip Friday and Saturday for now, and is offered all night. This is our second year, obviously, so it's the second year we do Dine Out Lauderdale, and we love it. Last year, the beauty and what we saw is see guests that were not necessarily coming over in Wilton Manors to visit our restaurant otherwise, and allowed us to get to know us.
Get some people, first timers in the door, maybe not even realize that it's here because it's on this drag that does not have a lot.
You love first time starters too.
I do love first time starters. And no, Roberto was telling me that this place is popular in Wilton Manors. Obviously, a lot of couples come in here, and it's also, they see a lot of regulars and part of the the GLBTQ plus community are in here, and then you're also seeing straight couples from surrounding areas. I mean, it's for everybody. It's really in everyone under the sun place. You've got an Italian, you've got a Peruvian, you've got a multicultural crowd coming in. It really is what makes the whole Visit Lauderdale, everyone under the sun. It just really, it's just a thing that we love about the area. Yeah,
exactly.
How does the mix work though between you and your wife? Where you have the Italian influence, so you want to throw like a bunch of sauces in there, and she's got the Peruvian influence.
He's at the front of the house.
I'm front of the house. I just don't go in the
kitchen. He might throw some wine in there. Okay, Roberto.
By the way, this wine is great. Whatever this is,
let's
I want
talk
to get to that. Mr. Grape over here.
Because we got Christy, the chef, is going to be on next. Roberto, his specialty is wine.
Yes.
He's a sommelier. He has a really interesting, inventive wine list, some things that you don't ordinarily see. And what have you poured for us today? These two are both available by the glass, right?
Yes, so the two wines that we have here are both available by the glass. The first one is a Picpoul de Pinet. And don't ask me why I chose.
Were you familiar with that, by the way?
No, because I hardly ever drink whites, but I did take a sip of it, and it's very crisp and light, and I like it. What's your opinion? Because you're,
you know what? I'm always a little squeamish when I see something that is unconventional in terms of the bottle. with my Chardonnays, and and a lot of times, you get duped and you end up drinking like a really sweet wine. But this is fantastic. Really good.
Explain what it is. It's a different kind of grape. It's
a Picpoul. Picpoul is a grape that
not Pitbull, but
no, pool with a
pool.
P.
Okay.
And it's from
it's,
some bizarre region of
No,
France,
it's a
right?
nice region of France. It's in the
Languedoc
south
and
of
Roussillon,
Languedoc. Come on.
south of France,
guy.
southwest
isn't it
of
where that
France.
guy gets that big melon that Cindy Crawford is advertising for? I mean,
I don't know.
it tastes special. It
It's
really
sort of.
that is really really good.
Yeah, it's a
Is that
special
commonly
wine.
found in like?
It's
I've
not
never seen
so common, and that's particular because that's my wine list. It's our wine list here is made of wines and wine regions that are a little bit out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it's. I
and,
love that. As
Very
a,
good.
As
very
a
good.
wine drinker, I really do appreciate when you go someplace and you don't see the same old, same old. I mean, I'm looking down here. You've got a Bobal medium fruity red
Look at the
from
choices,
Spain,
too. I mean,
Valencia,
that's great.
Spain. That you don't see. I mean, yeah, you see obviously the hits, the Chardonnays,
You
the
rarely
Cabernets.
see it in Spain.
But
that one,
you have a Sauterne, which is a
Uh-huh.
dessert wine from France that's absolutely beautiful. You've got Gamay, you've got a Mourvedre. I never know how to pronounce it. Mourvedre.
Mourvedre.
And that one's a California Mourvedre. It's a great
Uh-huh.
grape. Yeah. Again, this wine list here. One of the reasons that you should come check out Union Kitchen and Bar, and even if it's not for Dine Out Lauderdale during that Tuesday through Thursday and Sundays, just come on out anytime because
These are all available by the glass.
Is by the glass as well.
these
See, that's good.
bottles,
You can
yes.
just come here and you're looking for a place to go, have a couple of glasses of wine, maybe an appetizer.
Absolutely.
Wow. I mean,
And this
Yeah.
is the wine
This
by
is
the
great.
glass, and you take great pride in kind of the wines
100%.
that you offer.
Especially being a sommelier or maybe an ex-sommelier that turned into a wine gig. And I geeky wine guy. Oh,
Geek,
maybe
yeah.
that's the gig.
We got beer geeks
And,
out there. We got wine
and,
geeks
and-
here.
What I am, and I want wines that they go especially with the food, Christie's food, and they elevate the whole experience ultimately.
now,
rather than
is this
just,
an old menu? Because I noticed the prices are really, like extremely reasonable.
That's what I was going to remark on. Is that wines by
I
the
mean,
glass.
normally you're getting whacked for 20 a glass on something like
these
this.
interesting,
Yeah.
whites and reds, and imported wines, $11 a glass, $12 a glass. This does seem like it's printed from pre-COVID.
Yeah.
from
I
like
would save money if I
2015.
just drove down here and bought wine by the
Yeah.
glass and brought it back to the house
Don't
and
worry.
gave it to my wife.
I'll change the menu today. I'll put it at $20.
No, and again, just even these bottles are for the
This
most
is
part.
great.
That's one of my biggest when I was the critic for the Sun Sentinel, and you go into a lot of these restaurants, and they didn't have any wines, not alone. Forget about good wines or decent wines, like any wines at all for under $50 or $60. Here, I'm looking down the whole list, and I see nothing but 40s and a couple of 30s. Very reasonably priced for very
Value.
good wines. So
Value
kudos.
is very important, and
And 11, 12 bucks by the glass, which, is a, very inviting thing because
Well, when you're
you don't
drinking,
have to buy the bottle necessarily to, figure like you're getting your money's worth.
but you let's face it, you always gotta get the bottle because you're gonna drink 4
I
or 5
just said my
glasses,
wife on a boat trip, I wish she had come by here first because we could have stuffed a couple of these bottles in her little wine bag that she took with her. But this is great. And it's always refreshing to find like new stuff that you would not be familiar with and probably wouldn't find in the local liquor
That's
store.
what I'm telling you, Grandpa. You got to venture out a little bit, get out of your comfort zone.
Well,
ditch
Wilton
the
Manors,
Chardonnay.
one of my first ventures down here in a while, so it's great.
Well,
I was telling Roberto last time I was here was at the bowling alley.
oh, you missed. We did a show at my friends Josie and Marcy over at Bubbles and Pearls,
Bubbles
and they
and
do
Pearls.
a great job there. And they specialize in the raw bar and some of the sparkling wines. They don't have full liquor. You do. You also have the raw bar and all kinds of items. And it's great to see a lot more of these great independents. Just run by couples. It's not that corporate vibe. You could tell this is kind of has a family vibe. And when I came in today, I see you and your 2 lovely young children running around, and it's like that warms my heart because that's what, to me, dining and hospitality should be all about. It for all ages, and
absolutely
everybody should feel comfortable. And so, congrats.
That's what it should be.
It seems like this place is maturing. Talk about the start. I mean, you opened 2 years ago. You said it was August 10th, 2021.
That's correct.
If I recall, we were still kind of in the middle of a pandemic then. What was that like? And how was
It was. I mean, it was great. It was different because obviously everybody was wearing masks, and we were all scared in a way.
Right.
And at the same time,
But you have the
we
outdoor
opened, we had the
patio.
outdoor patio. We were busy, and people were not afraid to stay outside, even if it was 95 degrees.
Yeah.
Winter came in fast, and we saw that patio became the #1 spot that everybody wanted to
Was
be
it
in.
an instant hit? Did people come in from the opening weeks just because it was something new and different? I guess you were telling me it was a nightclub before it turned into this beautiful
It's
restaurant.
kind of sat empty for 3 years, and they
Wow.
built it as a club, and unfortunately
All right, so
didn't do too well.
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I mean, I'm just curious. Mayo walks in here. You mentioned it. He came in sort of relatively incognito the first time.
Mhm.
And were you aware? I mean,
No, we were not aware.
Nah,
that it
and
was
they
a-
were blissfully unaware. At that point, I was not writing for the Sun Sentinel. I was not armed with my critic's pen and stars. I was just, I wanted to, it was all.
is
it
he
was
loved
just-
or is he feared? Is the question. Never mind his babbling. Is he
It's
loved
always
or is he
loved.
feared?
It's
oh,
always
loved.
loved.
Okay, all right.
It's
I
always
don't
loved.
We're
need
curious
to be
about that,
feared. I
yeah.
don't need to be loved. I just want to be respected because I do respect great food,
Absolutely.
great wine, great hospitality, and I respect couples like Roberto and Christy that are doing things the right way. And
Seems great. Yeah.
and I love to sing praises of places like
Yeah.
this. You know, a lot of places now, you know, on some of the Las Olas, it's so expensive now for rents that you can't get in there unless you're a big corporation backed by millions and millions of dollars
That's
to
right.
open up. And places like these, they still have a shot to open up with a little bit of capital, and hopefully you get a reasonable landlord through pandemics, and then you could survive and gain a following.
Yeah.
And
And that's what happens at the end of the day. That's what we're aiming for as well. It's continue to do quality and with value, and and work hard to create that.
and you guys are here every day
environment.
that you're open. It's open for just strictly dinners now in the summer, but you do weekend brunch, Sunday
winter.
brunch in the winter time.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a little break because Christy's going to join us with some food, and
Nice.
then we're going to chat with Christy about her culinary background and all the other things that go into running a kitchen here at Union Kitchen and Bar. Again, 2309 North Dixie Highway in Wilton Manors. Just pull out the Google Maps or Apple app. It'll get you here.
It's easy to find.
It's
It really
easy to
is.
find.
It's actually easy to find.
And it's
I
actually
found it.
also easy to park because you
Yeah.
have nice neighbors that once the sun goes down and all these little shops close up, they allow you to have your patrons park in some of the spots in the neighboring buildings. And come on into Union Kitchen and Bar. I've got to come
The car
back.
is very comforting here too. I mean, when you walk in, like you said, the vibe is part of the experience of dining out, and these guys have done a great job here.
South Florida needs more places like this because it makes me feel like I'm in Lower Manhattan. Brooklyn has some of these funky spots. Portland, Maine, Charleston, South Carolina, like good, small independent restaurant scenes. Nashville now has a lot of these. And
Exactly.
And bit by bit, there's a couple of places that are independently run where they do value great food and wine and hospitality, all dotting the community, and that's what Dine Out Lauderdale is all about. Come check it out. Go to dineoutlauderdale.com. You'll see the whole list. There's over 100 restaurants, and many of them are offering these multi-course dinners where you get the choice of the appetizers and main and dessert. Go on to the Visit Lauderdale website, visitlauderdale.com/dineout or dineoutlauderdale.com. You'll see the whole grid, the list. You click on it, you see what everybody's offering. And this year, it really is for everyone under the sun because it's not just dinner spots like Union Kitchen and Bar. It's also for cafes, the brunch spots. There are some brunch specials on there, like at Cafe Max, your place up in Pompano Beach.
Good
They're
spot.
doing a Sunday brunch dine out special. And even classic iconic spots like Jackson's Ice Cream, where we were last week, and where my daughter is scooping right now. At the Dania Beach, they're doing a special dine out kitchen sink for one for $18.95. Usually you have to go in with a big group and spend $70-$80 to get the kitchen sink. Now you could go in there to Jackson's as part of Dine Out Lauderdale and get a great value kitchen sink Sunday for one. It's all part of the extravaganza going on August 1st through 31st. Again, dineoutlauderdale.com. And it's a great time to go out and explore, like Defo here.
Well, what a nice way
Branch
to be
out.
introduced to a place like this. I mean, you're coming in here, you're getting an unbelievable bargain, and first class treatment and great food. Can't wait to dive into some of this stuff.
It's all good. All right.
Let's
We'll
do
take
it.
a break. We'll come back with Roberto. We'll give Defo the heave-ho for now, but we'll save some food for him, and we'll be back to talk to Christy.
I'll be picking before you
yeah,
get
you
your
can go
hands
around
on
the
it. Yeah,
periphery and just graze.
And don't mind him, Roberto. I mean, this is the distinguished food critic from the Sun Sentinel for many years.
Former, yeah.
Now in charge of a giant mega monster of a food site. Let's Eat South Florida.
115,000 closing in on.
Eats like he's going to the chair, my friend. Like he's
it.
going to the chair.
I love my food. I love good food. That's why I love Union Kitchen and Bar.
All right. Yeah, coming back more here. This is fantastic. Can't wait to dive into some of the food at the Union Kitchen and Bar here in Wilton Manors, Florida. A great spot and part of this whole fanfare that's going on in the summertime with the bargain rates. And back with more in a moment.
Thank you.
It's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Oh, look at me. I'm all caught unawares here. I'm in outer space. We're here at Union Kitchen and Bar. It's the Lunchbox. It's a remote show. We're in Wilton Manors, and I am surrounded by great food. I can't believe the beautiful aromas wafting up in front of me. We've got Roberto to my left, and to my right, your left, is Christy, the chef. Welcome to the Lunchbox, and thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, so, obviously we were talking with Roberto a little bit about the origins and the background of Union Kitchen and Bar, but let's talk about you for a second. Where are you originally from? And tell me the story of how, you came to be a chef, and not just a chef, but a darn good one, working at some great high-end places in Boca and whatnot.
Well, I was born in Peru. I came when I was very young. I grew up in Jersey. Then I did all like the high school and all those years in Orlando. So Central Florida was like home to me for quite a bit. And I started moving around for work. I was with the JW Marriott brands for almost 12 years. So I moved around from Arizona to Central Park, and then finally through crossing paths, one of the owners, Boston restaurateur Michaela Larson, met me in New York, and she said, "Hey, there's a property in Boca that I'd like you to take a look at." And I flew down for the day, my day off, and I went to check it out. And I met Roberto, and it was, the property was beautiful. We were at the Boca Resort. You can't. You're on the 27th floor. You're looking at ocean, and it's amazing. Spot. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And he sold me on Boca. He's like, yeah, Boca's so up and coming. You gotta move down. And like literally like a month later, I was down. So
I gotta fess up. I was a critic. I've dined at all kinds of high-end places all over the world. I never even knew there was a restaurant on the 27th floor. They wouldn't let me through the front gate at the Boca Resort. I think I might have been in there for a function or two in the ballrooms and catered affairs. But
it was beautiful.
That sounds like it was great. Yeah. And but of course, I guess it's every chef's lifelong dream to open their own place, especially with a partner and a husband. And was this kind of exactly when you walked in here, you knew this was it?
Yeah, I think we looked at a couple different spots, and we saw the potential that it had here. The good thing is that the kitchen was pretty much already built. For me, that's like, more than I'm like a yes or immediate. And it was a great location, and we saw the potential of making it, look warm and homey, because that's what we wanted. We wanted Union to be an extension of our home. Like, this is how we show how we care for people, is just sitting down at the table and making meals and enjoying that time around really good food. So we wanted to build that. So we made it look obviously a little bit more like our home and inviting. And we knew we wanted to do the food that we love, which is both of us come from, fine dining backgrounds, but we wanted to do it in an approachable way where anybody can come in and not feel, like they won't let you in the gate. So we want to make sure that we had that feel in that environment. And we've been very blessed that through these first 2 years, we've been very well received from the neighborhood, and we have amazing, our neighbors, a lot of condos and subdivisions around here that, we see them a couple times throughout the week.
Beautiful. You love the regulars.
Come for
That's
this pork chop.
Yeah. So now let's get down to the food. Obviously, you've got a good crew of regulars and also people who come in, and hopefully will be making their way in for the Dine Out Lauderdale month, and then making their way back many times during the season, and get to spend a night out on the beautiful patio here during the winter time. But what do we got in front of us, and is all this on the Dine Out menu?
Some of the items are on the menu. This is our second year doing it, and this year we decided to focus kind of more of the seasonal items than more of like the traditional items. Last year we put a lot of the signature items like the porcini campanelle on it, which is the mushroom pasta that we make here. But this year we decided to kind of keep it more seasonal and the menu that's changing from last year's menu. So what we have on the table right now, I have our cider brine pork chop. It's going with some like roasted peaches and
Smells great. I mean,
whipped goat cheese.
I might have to take a bite right now, but I should
Okay.
start with the deviled egg, right? The deviled egg is the starter, right?
The starter. This one we change our deviled eggs quite often. This one I made street corn deviled eggs. So you have all the flavors of like the jalapeno, the corn, the chili, just like you would. I lived in Arizona for a couple of years, so it's like I got that feel. And
it's a southwestern Tex-Mex
so
Mexican vibe going with the
exactly, and you got
deviled
all the crunchy textures and
Yeah.
everything. So for sure. check it
So,
out.
all right, deviled egg. You got to eat it with your hands, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
do people
Just
hit
no.
it with a
Oh,
fork
we've
and knife?
seen
All right,
everything.
well, I'm going to go into full lunchbox mode, and my apologies to both of you. I'm just going to pop this deviled egg in my mouth in one fell swoop, and I'll give you my verdict in a second.
How is it?
That's good.
Got a little bit of different textures there, not just the same whipped, deviled egg that you want all the feels. So that's what we're going for.
I got all the feels, and now it's running down my spine. It feels good. That flavor, where you get that little bit of a zing. Is it? It's like a
Cotija?
pepper. It's like a
We
little
do the chili powder on top.
chili powder
Yeah,
on
we do
top.
chili powder. We do a little cotija cheese, micro cilantro,
Yeah.
and all the onions and jalapeno and everything corner inside as
Man,
well.
yeah, and I just got a hit of the micro cilantro, which
Mhm.
some people don't like cilantro. I love it. I think
Yeah.
it tastes, it just gives everything a beautiful little herbaceous
Fresh, yeah.
finish.
Mhm.
And wow, that's a great dish.
Thank
And is this the normal size serving
Yeah.
of it? There's 5 of them.
Five to an order.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
generous.
on our starter. So
'Cause
it's good for sharing.
Yeah, I've been to some places now where you go and you order deviled eggs, and there's like 2 of them or 3 of them, and it's like, hey, come on, give me a little. They're eggs. I know the price of eggs were like higher than caviar at one point,
At one
but
point, right?
they've come back down a little, thank goodness.
Yeah,
So,
thank
all right, so that's the deviled eggs, and I give it a
Mhm.
big thumbs up. That's
Thank
on the
you.
Dine Out Lauderdale offerings. Is the campanelle on it? Or?
The campanelle was on it last year.
Okay.
So we wanted to do a couple newer items,
different.
but
All right,
but that's our signature item. That's been on since the first day, and that one is our porcini campanelle. So I take ground up porcinis, I make it in the dough. I put it in the dough, so it's got earthy flavor in it already. You get that brown, earthy color. I put a mix of assorted mushrooms, peas, spinach, and then I do it with a little bit of a light truffle cream.
nice.
So not super overpowering because that can always go.
Now this cider rub, or it's a cider
chop.
brined pork chop. Is it a Duroc pork, or is it any kind of special?
This
cut?
is a special cut. I've been using this specific pork chop almost for as long as we were at the resort. It's specific to one purveyor. He's in Fort Lauderdale, and it's my favorite pork chop. I've used it for so many years. I will never change it. I have so many people come and try to offer me different pork chops, and I will never change. You'll taste
Looks
it.
big, thick, and tender.
Center cut.
What's the best way? Should I be eating it solo or blended in with the
Try it.
peaches? And is it a mascarpone? What's
It's
the
a whipped goat cheese.
whipped goat
So
cheese?
it's got a little.
So I'm going to go in,
goat,
I guess, as the chef intended, with a little bit of each component, right?
a little sweet,
A little sweet,
a little the
little
rich,
creamy,
yeah, and
fat,
then
a little bit of nice lean pork, and hopefully I won't make too big of a mess. And while I'm talking, I'm going to ask Roberto a question, and he could fill in the gap while I'm chomping like like a food critic. How much of a hand do you have in the menu, or do you just do some tastings and do you give any notes to Christy?
Absolutely. I give all the notes. She'll do whatever she wants at the end of the day with it. And
they're appreciated notes. They're appreciated notes.
I used to have a little bit of a little more sane before, but now, no, absolutely. I mean, she is her creation. She is the master of that. So
Let me tell you something.
How's the chop?
I'm going to go full critic. Some of my flowery language that Defo says I haven't been ingesting any. I guess what do you call it? Hallucinogenic? No, I mean this is a dream of a dish. I mean, you have it. You nailed it. You're right. This pork is so tender. I mean, that brine, I guess, it makes it. It
keep the
definitely
moisture for sure.
gets it nice and juicy and flavorful. You could eat this by itself, but now that I ate it with those other components, with the whipped goat cheese and the peaches. I mean, you're right. It's got all the creaminess, the fattiness, the little sweet. I used to not be a fan of fruit with proteins. But you live in Fort Lauderdale. I mean, you live in South Florida long
Yeah.
enough
That's
with
a good-
mangoes and
You
some of the
gotta
great
make do,
tropical
yeah.
fruits. I assume, are these Georgia peaches?
Those
or-
are Georgia
yeah, because
peaches,
they're
yeah.
in season.
Mhm.
But you know what? As I've gotten older, I have expanded my palate and my thinking, and I'm not set in my ways. And I say, okay, a bite like this it doesn't just work. It's fantastic. It belongs together. So
Awesome.
that's why
Thank
you're the
you.
chef, and I'm the dumb critic who was set in his ways and say, oh, no fruit and protein. No, this works. It's great. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, we try to do a balance. Like I feel with everything on the menu, we obviously go for seasonal first, and then we try to just create the overall dining experience in one dish. So we want to not just be savory, like with the porcini camp. It's not just savory. You have the richness of the truffle, you have the earthiness of the peas, and the sweetness of the peas. So it's a little mix. I think in all my dishes, I try to do a little variety of all.
And I'm going in on that right now. Do you use is it like fresh local peas? Is there such a thing, or is that kind of a seasonal thing?
It's just these we keep on just because it's it's part of that dish, but it allows that little extra sweet to it to just not take it from straight earthy truffle.
Mm.
So.
I could see why this is a signature item that's been on the menu, because if I had this here and I came back and it was gone,
Yeah.
I might be like,
come for me.
I might start throwing glasses around, and you'd have to throw me out and come back with pitchforks and say, I want my campanelle.
That's
That is
it.
such a great bite.
Thank you.
And I could see it's a people pleaser, right?
Yeah.
It is. They love it. And that came a lot from his background. Like I
Yeah.
remember our first trip to Italy, it was, foraging for porcinis. And I was like, it was my first experience. And when I made the menu, I was like, we have to incorporate some of that.
Wait, you
Yeah.
actually went out in the ground, like
Oh,
you
yeah.
dig you in the dirt?
We were looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were spotting. He's better at spotting.
But
than me.
this is not truffles, so no animals or dogs or those special
no.
pigs.
No,
Just
it's
straight
just
This
hiking.
is just you guys are hiking and you
Yeah.
went foraging
Mhm.
for
I-
porcinis.
Yeah.
I grew up like that, but
We
we just do this. We just get out of the house, get up in the mountain, and
I need to do more of
forage
that. Any danger of having thinking it's a porcini and then it's maybe one of those magic mushrooms? Or,
You
Oh, they know
got
the
to
difference.
know what it is. If
Yeah.
you are not a pro on these kind of things,
'Cause
don't pick
there's
because it
poisonous
can be a
ones
lot
too,
of
yeah.
poisonous, toxic one.
yeah, that's why I do
Oh.
all my foraging like at Union Kitchen Bar.
But
Just have
yeah.
Lubie dish it out on a plate, and I'm gonna forage now. Oh, here's a mushroom. I just dug one out. It looks beautiful. Let me taste that. That's great.
Thank
Um,
you.
Obviously, house-made pasta.
Yes. We
Mhm.
make all our pastas here in house. And we change them again, like I mentioned, seasonally. We have right now a pork ragu with pappardelle.
Love
we
the
have,
pork ragu.
We've done the squidding, like every version of squidding pasta we can imagine.
Now,
We love it.
You're in Wilton Manors, and Wilton Manors, obviously home to a large population of the LGBTQ plus community. I guess their dietary habit. There, I don't want to paint broad brushes. It's just, but I know that a lot of people are conscious of carbs,
Yeah.
and some people don't eat meat, and vegans and vegetarians. I mean, I guess that's across every community
yeah.
now.
Mhm.
Do you get a lot of people who want things that are just vegan or vegetarian dishes, and are you able to accommodate
Of
that?
course, of course. On the menu, the reason why I make the menu like the way I do is that I want to be able to give people that come in with dietary restrictions options. So we do have quite a bit of items on the menu that are vegan. One of our desserts are vegan. We always try to have a vegan dessert or a gluten-free dessert, but that tastes just as good. And we don't always say, hey, this is gluten-free. We just want people to enjoy it for what it is. And then you're like, hey, by the way, that was gluten-free, that was vegan. So we want to give people the options because we know times are changing, our bodies are changing. It's not always the same thing you could eat when you were 20, right? So we like experimenting, making those dietary restrictions just as fulfilling as somebody who wants to eat everything on the table right now.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you know me, I'll never say no to anything. So if it's a mushroom with some truffle, a little a deviled egg with corn, and the pork chop and pork ragu, I can't wait to try that. I'm
Yeah.
going to come back very
For
soon.
sure. And the
because-
octopus, right? We have to come.
And
He's
the
going to come back with the octopus.
Yes, Defo he loves his octopus, and now Lubie, bless his heart, plopped the bread pudding dessert right in the middle of the
sorry, and the
goat
truffle
cheese.
paste,
No,
or
it's okay.
We can do another.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm gonna, I'm me. I could mix it up, and I'll still be able to discern the flavors of what belongs in the bread pudding. Oh my god, that's good. I'm gonna get another bite without.
Just take the whole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
take the whole
take the
plate.
whole
Take the
bite, right?
plate.
Well, he's upset because then he's going to say, "Oh, well, there goes
What
my
is
bite."
mine?
This has like a creme anglaise with
Yeah.
it.
So we call this one the drunken bread pudding. So
Mm.
I put a lot of bourbon in the bread pudding. I
Wow.
do bourbon anglaise. I soak the raisins in bourbon, and I leave the raisins out because some people are don't want the raisins inside. So we kind of do a little bit of that, a little bit of whipped cream, and it's
Oh.
warm, served warm with vanilla ice cream sometimes if they want.
Perfect texture. Sometimes bread pudding comes out a little too gloppy or whatever. This actually has like a crisp edge on it,
Mm-hmm.
so you get a little crunch. Creme
Brioche.
anglaise. Oh God! And I like golden raisins.
Yeah.
I do like fruit in my dessert, and this fits perfectly. It's great. I mean, sorry, Tom T. Tom T makes a great bread pudding up at Tom's Louisiana Kitchen up there in Boynton Beach. This bread pudding rivals it. It is some really good stuff.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you very
Compliments.
much. Thanks.
I'm going to keep eating. And anything else you want to say? I mean, what gives you the most satisfaction of having your own place now?
I think it just walking through on a Friday night and just seeing like all the seats packed and just looking at him and just kind of giving us that glance and just know like, okay, all the hard work, all the sweat and tears, like to see a packed house, that's the satisfaction. Knowing people are having amazing meals and being able to experience what we wanted when we made Union, that
That's right.
around the table with friends, with family, just experiencing great food, great wines. Like his wine list is ridiculous. So it's like you've seen it. So it's just the whole ambiance, and that's what we wanted: the union of food and wine and all of it.
Well, judging by what I see and tasted today, and all the rave reviews that people who come here and post on the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group say, I'm saying you've now hit your kind of like maturity. A restaurant, it's like a baby. The first few weeks and months, even in the best of times,
Years.
sometimes there's things that you work out. You're tweaking
Yeah.
some menu items, obviously staff issues. But and of course, when you open in the middle of a pandemic, it makes it even more challenging. But you guys got through that. You've established yourselves because you do have this creative menu and great wine list and full bar. And I could tell right now that 2 years in, you are hitting your stride. This is
Thank
great. If I was still the reviewer, based on the bites that I had today, this is looking like solid 4-star material here between the
Yay.
blend of food and wine. Obviously I've got great service today because I'm getting served by the proprietors themselves, but I'm sure you got a good crew
We have a
experience.
very good crew.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we've been
good.
very
Amazing.
blessed with amazing staff.
It's always great to have a good team,
Yeah.
and including your kids. I see. Did they come in? Did they help you create some of the stuff for the
It's-
bread pudding? Or?
You'd be surprised. My daughter, she loves being in the kitchen with me. So she'll be in the back.
Yeah.
She's like, "What are we making today?" I'm like, "Well, we're making campanelle." So she'll help measure. She'll do all that. She loves it.
That's awesome. What are their names and ages?
Sophia and Lucas. Sophia's
yeah.
6 and Lucas is 3.5.
Yeah, so Sophia's at that age where she really can start
Oh
doing
yeah,
some stuff.
she
and,
loves it. Her little hands with those farfallis. Ooh, she's amazing.
and
And Sophia was literally in the kitchen since the beginning, since she
Yeah,
was
she's
just a few months old, a few days
always
old. She
had her
was already in the kitchen
In the
at the
carrier,
resort in the carrier while she was expediting and
cooking.
so on.
She was there.
So
That was home to her.
And-
The
and
noises, everything.
That's
So.
great. And I guess it's also gratifying that having your own place and not being at the, somebody else's, employee,
Yeah.
your own boss. You created a spot where you have, dinner only hours, so you can have that work-life balance. I mean, is it still a challenge being a mom and a chef?
It's always a
and owner?
challenge, but I think when you really love what you do, it's a lot easier. And when you
Yeah.
have your partners with you doing it, it's like we can't fail. We're not gonna we have to get through the day. So
yeah.
it's a lot easier being able to spend the time with my kids when we can do it and be the mom and still come in and do this at night and try to balance as best we can. But the kids see what we do and they love that mommy and daddy are so passionate about something. So
Yeah.
hoping to instill that in them. So.
That's great.
That's right.
Roberto, any final thoughts? People, what can they expect when they come in here, the Union Kitchen and Bar?
Well, when they come in here, they see us. We are the face of the restaurant, but they also see a team that many of them have been here since the beginning, and they've been here 2 years.
And you,
So
I know you work the room. You touch the tables. You go around. You suggest the wines, and
as much as I can, I try to literally be at every table, be over there, be the face of the restaurant, and and we make mistakes, and we try to get better. We try to correct those mistakes,
And you want to hear from
uh,
people when they're here if something is not
Exactly.
quite right to
No,
make
you
it
can
Exactly.
fix
better,
it
right? You don't
try
want
to
to see
immediately.
them
fix
go
it.
flaming on Yelp or
Exactly.
the other site, Let's Eat South Florida.
But
Always
that,
talk to a manager, except me and Defo. When we're hypocrites this week, we had some experiences where we just said, forget it. But no, but this is the kind of place where they welcome feedback and they want
Absolutely.
No, of
and they want to hear
100%.
about your experience. And if something's not right,
You wanna
because this
know.
is the classic, that's what hospitality is supposed to be
Mhm.
around. And you come from that, the Italian European background, which is you want to, make guests satisfied. So it's a wonderful thing.
100%.
Yeah, all
Sure.
good. All right. Let's take our second break and then we'll come back with more to wrap up this edition of what is it? Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Man, I'm in outer space. I guess that wine is pretty good. It's hitting me. It's Wednesday afternoon. We'll be back.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cent'anni.
Beach Cafe. It's a South Florida landmark, and it's one happy restaurant right on the water. Tables literally on the beach. A place where you could dip your toes in the sand, kick back, relax with island vibes, tropical drinks, and live music daily. You know it. It's at One Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. And of course, it has Chef Chris Nealon and his famed Caribbean Floridian cuisine. The huge menu with something for everyone: seafood, raw bar, conch fritters, burgers, sandwiches, salads, deli specials, and of course, that famous Bimini bread. They've got a great staff that'll take great care of you. There's something to celebrate every day, open 7 days until late, parking available on site, happy hour weekdays 4 to 7 p.m. Go check out more at arubabeachcafe.com. Better yet, go in there yourself at Aruba Beach Cafe. Good food, drinks, friends, and laughter are always the catch of the day. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting? Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria: fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. This August, Visit Lauderdale invites everyone under the sun to indulge in the annual Dine Out Lauderdale promotion. This year's options will be more diverse than ever, with fine dining restaurants, casual eateries, and even your favorite cafes and ice cream parlors part of the mix. From August 1st through 31st, scores of restaurants will be offering multi-course meals at discounted prices starting at just $45 per person. Diners can also enjoy sweets and treats, brunches, happy hour specials, and exclusive culinary experiences. This year's lineup includes 3030 Ocean, Foxy Brown, and Lasso Gaucho in Fort Lauderdale, Even Keel Fish Shack and Aruba Beach Cafe in Lauderdale by the Sea, Cafe Max in Pompano, The Cook and the Cork in Coral Springs, Union Kitchen and Bar in Wilton Manors, and more. Restaurants are being added by the day. For the full Dine Out Lauderdale lineup and all the details, go to dineoutlauderdale.com.
We're back here at Union Kitchen and Bar, and man, what a life we have, huh? We come out to these places. I mean, last week Casa Calabria, this week Union Kitchen and Bar, places that are not ordinarily open for lunch, but they open for us. And yeah, I don't know, Defo, is it fear or respect?
It's a little
fair.
of both.
It's fair.
I have to say this now. You know how
Hello,
difficult,
Jersey Kyle. Nice
you
to
know
see
how
you chatting
difficult the
in.
Mustang could be when it comes to ordering stuff, and she doesn't eat meat. Okay, so
Well, we haven't really seen it. We
but
just know
this
through you. We
this
know through you.
porcini campanelle
Yeah,
is
that's
phenomenal
fantastic.
Nice.
with zero meat in there, and then if you could add chicken
They
in
got
there
the
on top
peas.
of
Is there a
it.
pasta? in
Yeah,
there?
that's
There
a
is.
pasta,
Okay.
fresh made
Okay,
pasta.
okay.
You're gonna have it in a
I will
second.
eat
You know
some.
what?
I'll eat
How
some.
about I'll serve you? For
Thank
a
you,
change.
Mr. Mayo.
And
That-
yeah,
that
again,
is-
it's
that's
got
really
let's see all the
delicious. Really
components:
good.
wild
Yeah.
mushrooms, which of course is the porcini mushrooms, peas, spinach, fresh herbs or herbs, as they said in Brooklyn,
Really
and truffle
tasty. Yeah.
cream.
Has kind of
And
a
that truffle
marsala
cream
taste to it.
Gives it that finishing
yeah.
touch of some people. You know, they love truffles.
Hey,
And
here's what's good about the show, though. I mean, you have these proprietors on, and
It's okay.
fantastic, and you love the fact that they are so passionate about what they do, and that's been one of the really fascinating aspects of doing this for the last almost couple of years here,
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Mayo, is that all of these people are so dedicated to their craft, and they're so proud of what they do, and they really take pride in every dish that's being served, and you could kind of feel that here at the Union.
Kitchen and bar.
Union
Kitchen and Bar, yeah.
UKB, they call it for
UKB,
short.
yeah.
Well, now I
maybe.
know why it's called Union, because I thought I was trying to figure out the name. Union Kitchen. Christy handles the kitchen and bar. Roberto
Roberto.
handles the bar. It
And
makes perfect sense.
The way it blends together.
And they work
It
really
is
well
a
together.
Perfect union, and it's in a place where represents diversity, everyone under the sun, the whole ethos of Visit
Yep.
Lauderdale and Dine Out Lauderdale. Come on in here, even if it's not one of those dine out nights. I mean, what
Pork chop's
gratifies?
great, also.
Yeah,
I haven't
and
even
what's
tried
not to
the
like?
pork chop looks.
You ate those
Tremendous.
eggs like you were Cool Hand Luke, like
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
Paul
yeah,
Newman
yeah,
and Cool Hand
I
Luke.
ate a whole one. I
I'm gonna
can't
do it
lie.
again.
Could you eat 50 of them? Is
No.
that possible? Oh my
Relax.
God! Look
Leave one
at
for
this guy.
Defo. Leave one for Defo. Defo didn't even get to
No,
try.
no, I'm okay. I'm not a deviled egg guy, but I love watching Mayo stuff himself like this. But it really did. It looked like Paul
You
Newman.
have the mic near your mouth there, superstar.
I thought Roberto's not paying
Yeah,
attention.
Roberto and Christy weren't looking. Thank
Or
God.
is he-
I'm glad they looked away. Oh my God, we're gonna thrown out of here and they're not even open.
Or they like my daughter, where they just don't even want.
Yeah, they were disgusted. You were so
Complete
classy the whole time. I was
disassociation,
impressed.
yes.
You were cutting it. You set up nicely. We're cutting it. You were letting the juice fall off. I'm like, what mayo
And
is
then
this?
finally, you became yourself again. An animal,
He always finds his
uncontrolled.
way.
When I'm
like
surrounded
a
by
bear that broke into a picnic.
Fools.
I mean, you're unbelievable.
As Mr. Mama calls us.
when I'm surrounded by classy restaurateurs and high-end chefs,
You try to pretend you're
I behave
somebody
myself.
else. Yeah.
But when I've got you two guys next to me, what am I going to do? It just
Well, you're figuring that if you don't eat them like that, then we'll probably
We'll
grab a
grab
couple.
it.
of
what do they
them.
call
You'll
it
be
in
like my
sports? Like regressing to the mean
Yes,
or something like that.
100%. Regressing or progressing to the mean. Yeah.
But as to your points, Defo, what I love and what really gratifies me is, like you said, the passion, the pride, when really talented people in the hospitality business get to open their own spot and they really get to shine.
Yep.
And they're not doing it some behest of some corporation. And every time they come up with a new recipe or dish that they want to put on a menu, they have to run it up the flagpole and get clearance. For, they can just play around and just do it and just put it on the menu one night. And we see it places like here. And to see it, 2 years in, it really is that it hits that stride, that maturity. You see that at restaurants where, it's like a sitcom, like Seinfeld. It was a bomb at first. It wasn't getting any ratings, but by the second season, there's some classic episodes. And restaurants are the same way. And that's what I don't like about this instant judgment society, where people go in the first damn week and they like shred a place, and a place needs some time to get legs. And when I was a critic, I would always wait at least 3 months until a place was open, until writing a formal review and issuing, the stars.
Give them time.
Give them at least 3 months. And, but guys, places like Union Kitchen and Bar, guys like Brad and Dave over at Even Keel
Very
Fish Shack.
similar in the way
Yes,
they
that's
are
what it
created.
feels like.
Yeah.
They
That's what
worked
it
all
feels
around
like.
the world. They worked at resorts, and then they come and they start their own place, and then knocking it out of the park, because each dish has their own like elements that are theirs, their own signatures, and also like really world class food touches on it.
Well,
So-
and when it comes to pricing, I'm sure you'll see some of the prices if you go to certain places and look at it and go, wow. it's not so low, but it's also not so high. I like the idea.
This dish, and I like also for the pastas, they offer it in appetizer sizes.
Yeah.
So you can come in, not just fill up on the pasta and get a chance to still sample something like this great pork chop, because this porcini on an appetizer size, $18. I mean, that's reasonable.
Well, I just
for the
like
quality of
Christy
ingredients.
sort of alluded to the idea, and it's what Visit Lauderdale is doing this year as opposed to last year, where they've opened up to other restaurants and even the more elegant, high-level restaurants. They're offering different kind of things. The idea is to allow everyone to try quote unquote elevated food, because that's the thing is, look, I came from a certain background and my parents only made so much money. So we only ate certain things. And my wife she sort of misses the point where she's like, well, we eat everything. Well, my parents couldn't afford to feed 3 kids everything. So I like the idea of allowing people, whatever your background, whatever your class, quote unquote, your social place in life, whatever, to be able to try different kind of things, to realize, oh, wow, you know what? It's not just for frou-frou, ritzy people. These kind of there's no meat in this dish, and I'm Mr. Meat Eater, and I wouldn't have known the difference because of what she did. The flavors are spectacular.
The flavors and it's a satisfying dish. It's not
Mushrooms
missing
have
anything.
never been this spectacular in
And
any place. It's great.
It's just such a great flavor, and it's cool to me that Roberto and Chrissy have opened a place to allow people of all kinds, of all levels, of all stations
and
to try different things.
This year, they're doing the $45 Dine Out Lauderdale menu, where it's the appetizer, the entree, the dessert.
It's a full course meal.
Some places are doing, like Evelyn's down on the beach at the Four Seasons, and also Abiaca, which is kind of the high end place at the Hard Rock. They're doing $75 tasting menus, but of some also like impeccable ingredients, things like Iberico ham and things that you also, premium products that usually if you'd go in there, and it would be a lot more for, 3 different courses. So this, you pick and choose, see what you like. I think Roberto was saying next year he might introduce kind of wine flights to go along with the Dine Out Lauderdale, which is always a great option.
My wife will be one of the first people in that one.
And so when you come in here, I mean, again, it's a reasonable place. So if you're coming in 2 people for the Dine Out menu, it's going to be, $90 for 2. But you can come in just on a Friday, Saturday night and go down this regular menu and assemble a really nice meal for the same price point. Basically, for 2 people can get out of here for $100 with a nice assortment of dishes and maybe a couple of glasses of wine. And that's what I love to see, where you're still in that $100 neighborhood to get a really good meal for 2 people. This day and age, that's almost a miracle. And when
you can whip out a stick and eat like this,
you're full and you're happy.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So
you gotta love it. Nice even
kudos,
$100 bill.
Job well done. Christy and Roberto. I will be back.
I'm
literally coming Friday.
I'm now ashamed of myself for not coming in here in over a year.
You have to eat that last deviled egg.
And no, it's yours. And again,
no, I'm not a deviled egg guy.
But it has corn on it, and you know me and my diverticulitis. I don't want to push the envelope too far.
It's worthy of risking a health episode.
It's now time.
It really
that's
would be.
easy for you to say. You're not writhing in agony with your lower gut, like that's diverticulitis. But sometimes it's worth it. Hey, we got to put in a kind word for our friends at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Again, it is
great
the place to go
for great food
for your cooking this weekend. If you're going to be staying home one of these nights and not going out to the restaurants every night like I do, can get some great stuff to throw on the grill, throw in the oven. Whatever you need, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood has it. They've got steaks, they've got pork chops, they've got all kinds of fresh house-made sausage, chicken sausage, turkey sausage, pork sausage.
Seafood.
They've got the turkeys, they've got the chickens, they've got ducks, which Michelle made great on Sunday night. And, of course, the seafood, the fish, the shrimp, the lobster. Again, Florida lobster season, commercial season begins next week.
Tuna steaks, 6th. Man. Put them on the grill.
It will be in there. Their tuna steaks are great. They're at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just south of Sterling Road, right across from the classic Seminole Casino. There's a big chicken on the roof. You can't miss it. DelawareChicken.com is the website for the weekly specials and daily offerings at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. We'll be in there for our monthly visit a few Thursdays from now. August 24th will be our next visit. Don't know what's on the menu, what we'll be spotlighting, but I do know when it comes to the great food, it's going to be delicious, especially with Jose and Jean preparing it. So again, DelawareChicken.com. Check it out. Go there this weekend. Open every day. All right, that's going to do it for today. Once again, thanks to
Another
our
home run on the
Yes,
Lunchbox.
good job, Mayo Man.
Another
This
home run.
place is fantastic.
It just keeps getting better and
Yeah.
better. Go out, venture out, explore.
Well, tomorrow we're at Wicked, right?
Tomorrow we're
Another
back
place we
with
love.
our friend Brian.
Oh,
His
beautiful.
mom is doing well.
Thank God.
Thank God. And we'll be at Wicked Cheesesteaks and Pizza and more. That's right across from Holy Cross Hospital on Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale. And it's going to be fun. We always love our monthly visits with Brian also. So until then, for Jeff Defo DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz,
Great
and
job.
again, with much gratitude
Thank you,
to our
Rob,
great
Roberto, and
hosts,
Christy.
Roberto and Christy, Union Kitchen and Bar, 2309 North Dixie Highway in Wilton Manors. Come out, see them, tell them Lunchbox and Mike Mayo sent you. And until then, enjoy every delicious
porcini mushroom.
dish, every porcini mushroom campanelle, and enjoy every sandwich.
What next is the question?